Stay focused in school. Stay focused. You want to get out the house, the right way is
Keep
graduate
schooling,
earlier.
yeah.
And then, no, she's honor student. Like,
That's
big
good.
time. Yeah. Oh, big time. She's an honor. Now that she's been gone, all this stuff that's been going on, going around, she's been dealing with this dude and that dude and this other.
That is Jonathan Quiles, also known as Uncle John. He was on a local news program telling them about his niece who had gone missing. He first was talking about how smart she is. Ayanna wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. Then he said she probably ran off with a boy. She's been involved with many boys. He was using Ayanna's past against her. His very pregnant wife, Naomi, she chimed in, defending her husband when the reporter asked, was her husband a suspect? Naomi would say, my husband wouldn't do anything like that. The kids was always there. They spent entire summers there. They were close to Uncle John and Aunt Naomi. There was a warrant to search the house. His wife stood right next to him, and she didn't believe that this was happening. But Uncle John was cool. He even offered the authorities food and drinks. However, he was arrested. He agreed to a DNA cotton swab while in custody. I'm not a monster. I didn't do anything to her. That's exactly what he said. After Ayanna Sawyer's mother found disturbing texts, she told her kids to block them, not to speak to them. Naomi even told John before to stay away. But there was an earlier incident where one of the girls said that Uncle John had touched them. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, right? But first, let me just rewind a bit. The Ayanna Sawyer story I had discussed in 2018. I had never finalized the story, which finally wrapped up not too long ago. And in the wake of Nazaya's story, people are comparing the two. Besides the salaciousness of the story, I can understand why people find similarities. I guess because they were both young. Ayanna, 16, Nazaya, 13, both very smart in school. They both had fake-ass, lusting-ass uncles around them, and with aunts that believed their man couldn't do any wrong when that's all their man ever did. Ironically, Nazaya and her aunt were both pregnant at the same time, just like Ayanna and her aunt were both pregnant at the same time. Like, what's an uncle to do? These men, they didn't want the mothers of their children. They preferred the children. Ayanna was last seen leaving Terry Parker High School on CCC footage, skipping her last 2 periods. She had 2 large bags with her. One carried her books and school supplies, and the other had numerous amounts of Victoria's Secret lingerie and a body pillow we would find out later. The Uncle John specifically knew that it was 38 pieces of laundry that were taken. Interesting, right? Ayanna was running away with the man of her dreams. They loved each other, and they believed that everything was going to be okay. That's what he told her. Ayanna was 5 months pregnant by Jose, a code word that Ayanna and her younger sister, who was around 12 or 13 at the time, used when speaking about Uncle John. Now, Ayanna never got off the school bus. Her family, they called 911 immediately. Anyone that knew Ayanna, they called. They tried to find out where she was, who she was with. Ayanna had told her mother prior that she was pregnant, and her mom accepted it, and her mom was going to support her. But Ayanna was refusing to say who the father of her baby was, a little girl that would be born in a few months, named Hazel Michelle. Ayanna's little sister was holding on to the secret about Uncle John being the father of Ayanna's baby. She didn't want her to be mad at her for telling, and she was also holding on to the fact that Uncle John had been sexually assaulting her too, even while Ayanna was missing. Ayanna's mother would look through her room, look on her computer to try to figure out where her daughter was, what was happening. and she found emails to and from Jose, dated on 2018, February and March, just months before Ayanna went missing. She was pouring her heart out. She was in love with this Jose. She felt betrayed by this Jose. Messages from Jose that read, quote, "I'm very aggravated with you. I'm going to hit you later," end quote. And also, quote, "I'm in love with you. I will kill you and cry," end quote. Her mother hadn't approved of an earlier relationship she had with a guy named Kumar Humphrey. Now, under a Florida law, Kumar was over 18 and she was under 16. She was 15 at the time. Perhaps he knew where Ayanna was. Kumar did say he had sex with her at least once, around the time Ayanna and Kumar had got together. But he was out of town now, so he was no longer considered a suspect. They already had his DNA on file, but there was also an unknown DNA around the time that Kumar was involved with Ayanna. So whose was it? It would be Ayanna's sister who would tell them that Jose was really Uncle John, the husband, Uncle John, the family man, Uncle John, the mechanic. On December 18th, it would become very clear as to what happened with the help of CCC footage and Uncle John's big-ass mouth. He called his brother, Joe Quiles. He told him, quote, "This girl might be pregnant. It might be mine." Joe didn't want to have anything to do with it. He would then call his brother back and tell him he handled it. Quote, "I took care of it. I lured her away, I strangled her and shot her." He got very specific with it. He said as he strangled her, he couldn't take it anymore. He got sick looking at her, so he opted to take out his gun and he shot her.
Concerned about what is he going to do with the young lady in question, that she might be pregnant, and what is he going to do? He doesn't want to ruin his family and mess up what he has already going on.
The cameras only caught her leaving school, the same time Uncle John was leaving work. As she jumped into his car, he drove her to a place at his job where there were no cameras, where it was loud, where nobody could see, and he started to strangle her. Several minutes later, he's seen exiting. Uncle John had also told this same story to an informer, an inmate, during Bible study. He told him exactly what he did. He said he wasn't going to lose his family over this. As he sat right there in jail, he described the sick event, throwing her body in a dumpster and her belongings everywhere else. Besides the unknown DNA inside Ayanna's panties, they would find out that unknown DNA belonged to Uncle John. Florida wanted to give him the death penalty, killing two people, Ayanna and his unborn daughter, Hazel. He received life in prison, and to this day, Ayanna Sawyer's body has never been found. Rest in peace, Ayanna.